Ladies, welcome to the video. Called Jerry here. And today I have a very important video. It's going to be kind of like the last video when it comes to this challenge, when it comes to instruction, when it comes to workouts and stuff, right? I'll try to go a few more time, record myself some videos when I do the workouts. In fact, I would have done it today. But this ties very well in what I'm going to talk about today, about knowing your rest, knowing your recovery periods. And obviously, I'm not talking about rest when it comes to rest after a push-up, going to a squat. But I'm talking about how much does your body need to recovery based on your feelings, based on how you, based on how kind of like based on the theory, but also based on your feeling. And it's important because, again, today I would have just done the challenge myself, but I've been working out probably ever since Friday, between when it comes to gyms, going to run, doing some of these videos for this challenge, similar workouts. And of course, like when you're you have a lot of adrenaline and you're kind of working out, you really feel really good. And then like the first day that you take kind of like a stop, like yesterday, you start feeling, you start feeling stuff sometimes in your body, much like I'm getting like a huge pull. I did my legs the other day in the gym as well. So I feeling like a huge pull inside the knee. And that's a red flag to me that's saying, probably it's too much output, too much exercise based on what am I used to usually. And it's important because you need one thing that you need to start getting to know moving on. And I see two people are live here watching. Just say hi. Let me know who you are. And if you're live, let me know live. If you're seeing a replay, let me know that you're seeing a replay. And this is very important to me because rest. One thing that you can do differently when you're an athlete, like much like maybe I was in the past when I was playing soccer, when I was doing different things. Oh, and when you're a regular person, like I'm a coach, right? But like of course, I no longer need to like compete on anything. Then the difference is that whenever your body feels is telling you stuff like feedbacks, you need to start listening to those feedbacks. If you are injured or if you feel like you're developing an injury, like you need to rest. And it's important because one thing that I see here in this group, but also in general, like I've been coaching people for 20 years now, is their inability to understand that they always feel like more is better. More exercise, more cardio, more workouts. And they feel like, okay, now I'm losing 3 kilos or 2 kilos. If I work out more, I'm going to lose 5 kilos, right? Usually it's not that way. In fact, it's the opposite way around. There is a certain component, which is rest, is a component much like there is, the component of a workout when it comes to, especially when it comes to weights, is like, progressive overload, the frequency, the intensity, and the volume, and then there is the rest, right? Rest, of course, it's not only the rest between sets, but it's the rest between sessions, right? And that means that when you kind of like work out, and especially if you work out really hard, sometimes you need 24 hours rest, usually 48 hours rest. Some even need 72-hour rest. Okay, in some rare cases, when you're super hyper responder, you probably work out one time, you can take even a week off, right? And it's important because when you start seeing, like when I do this kind of workout for 10 minutes and then the day after you really feel like it was too much volume and you start feeling a pull on the knee, if you keep going to that route, you can injure yourself. And when you injure yourself, you're going to be off for a month. And that's the one problem. That's the one problem about not doing correct resting phases, right? The other one, which is highly, highly, highly underutilized, is the fact that even if your body is super, how do you say, super proficient on recovery, meaning like even if you were able to, like, see, if I take an example, for instance, Cecilia, I don't know if you're watching here or not, but I'll take an example. When you are somebody that does so much output, obviously you do a lot of sessions, whether it's, weights, whether it's body weight, whether it's cardio, and then your body recovers. There's still one component that is important to understand, that like you basically leaving results on the table because, it's like your body, like every single time you use weights or body weight, and of course the intensity is important because the reality is that some people I see here doing workouts of 10 minutes, and I don't know what they do with the rest of the time. If that would be the only workouts, maybe that's not something that then you need to wait, 3 days to recover. But if you are going, I'm talking about the people that goes the most, meaning like not the one that they just go to the gym 3 times and they recover. That's actually pretty good, right? But are people that instantly go 3 times on the gym or 3 workouts and then you do 3-4 times more cardio, maybe you have another activity, tennis, dance, running, whatever the case is, you basically never rest. And even though like you having output, like you're burning so many calories more than you're eating, you'll see that your body really struggles losing weight. Why? Because you basically never get the body the chance to recover. And in other words, you never get your muscle the chance to rebuild. This is kind of like how it works. I'm sitting on a chair now. Also, I don't want to make that experiment, but like I could just use if I was in a bar fight, you use the chair and you just throw it against somebody, and then the chairs break, right? This is equals to actually breaking your body when you do a pull, when you do like a bicep pull or whatever, a bicep curl, or like you do a pull up. You kind of like doing micro tears inside the muscle, right? This is kind of like one phase. You're doing catabolism. You're breaking stuff down. Then you need to do the anabolism phase, which is like, then there is like the homeostasis phase is like breaking stuff down, like gets your body, is a stressor for the body. Then there is the homeostatic phase, which is like the body needs to kind of like go to balance. And it's like, okay, I need all the material to kind of like repair my chair, right? And the material is like, okay, I need to buy the glue. I need to buy the tape to measure that. And in this case, the repair is usually like macronutrient, micronutrient, the food that you're eating. And then there is the repair. The repair is like, you need to rest. That's simple as that. It's like some people need 24 hours, some people need 48, some people need more. For me now, I'm like today, I'm like maybe you see it on my face, I'm hugely tired. And that means that like when you go too much, like on, let's say you work a lot or like you sleep not much, then you work out this much and you don't rest, then you either rest and you start learning that your body needs it, or I would potentially just do whatever I should have done today, which was instantly like a workout, and then probably maybe get hurt, or maybe like definitely slowing down my results. Like when I rest a few times, I see a lot less water retention. I see my sleep getting better. I see more energy. And of course, I got good after 20 years. I'm working out on doing it automatically. But if not, like, that like after intense sessions in the gym, you probably need at least a day off. And when you need an extra one, like today, now I'm taking 48 hours off from the workout. And tomorrow I'm going to probably do something. I'm going to, based on how my feelings are, I'm either going to go very hard for 15 minutes with cardio, like similar to the challenge, or I'm probably going to do like a weight session probably for an hour, right? But it's important because if you don't understand that when you break down a chair, you need to find a piece to get all the pieces together, and you need to find the ingredients to glue it back up. And then you need the chair to stay there still so that it can repair and build up more than it was before, or at least to the same level that equals to your muscle rebuilding. When you rebuild that, you're basically creating body recomposition. You're basically creating higher metabolic rate. You're basically creating a better muscle, a stronger muscle, a more resistant muscle. This is why when you rest enough and you probably chances are, and again, like it could have been, that's maybe like a bold claim, but if I do tomorrow the same workout I did like 2 days ago or 3 days ago when it comes to the challenge, I'll probably do better numbers there, right? Some people rest faster, some people take less rest. But to the very least, like if you're doing a lot of cardio, if you're doing some workouts and plus the cardio and a lot of walking and you don't see results, or you see slow results, try to rest an additional day, because that's important. That's a part of the workout. That's a part of the results, of the component of the results. If you are not seeing the results, chances are that's for that. If you and how do you know how much to rest? It's individual. Like you could try one day, and then again, like if you go to the gym, it's very simple. You try 1 day off, you go back and you do the same routine. If you can be stronger, if you can be more resistant, if it's easier for you, you're probably in a good spot when it comes to rest. Maybe 24 hours is enough. If you go back and you still haven't recovered, like you still struggle, chances are maybe you need 48 hours. You can also base it on, again, when you wake up, your temperature stay low, not too low, not on the 35s, but probably not on the 37, more so like 36 or so. And the heart rate is low down, and like when you do like this thing that we're doing in the challenge, like you check your heart rate. If it goes down faster, chances are you're recovering well. But still, I don't recommend, especially if you're doing other activity on top of it, to do this kind of challenge more than once a day. But really, really start personalizing your results. Like if you're working with me, we're already talking about it. But if you're not working with me, one thing that you can start doing here in this video, Comment down below how many time you rest, or what is your full routine, what you're doing. Chances are you need more rest. If you are already, again, if it's not like, it's really a fine line. It's like if you're not doing any effort at all when you're working out, if it's like you don't break a sweat, chances are you don't need a lot of rest. But if you go in the weights or in the gym 3-4 times, you definitely need to check your rest. And this is kind of like the last video when it comes to the instructional part. I felt like I never really talked much about it, but like I see a lot of people maybe still questioning whether or not the results are a little bit slow, and obviously the rest is one component. When you create if it's cool if you work out a lot, you create an higher output, you burn more calorie, but then if you don't rest, the component of the fact that you breaking something down and you try to break the fat down, and then like you don't get the rest of to absorb and kind of like recover from it, you're leaving a lot of results on the table. So with this being said, let me know what do you do down here. Let me know what is your normal routine. Even if you work with me, you can put if you want, and let me know what are your rest periods, because that's important. And again, some of you might not be able to do it because they have a work job that is very active and you can't rest. Chances are your body know how to get accustomed to that. In that case, probably you don't need as much rest, but you definitely need at least 24 hours in between sessions. That would be ideal in a perfect world. Coach Jerry here. I'm going to touch base very soon. I'm going to probably see most of you hopefully on the Monday's roundtable, and the day after we'll probably announce the winner of the challenge, and I might see you inside the weekend still. If not, I'm going to take like at least a day off this weekend. And therefore, if you need anything from me, especially if you're working on a one-to-one base with me, reach out whenever you want. All the best, and I'm going to talk to you soon.